Hi, it's Winton Churchill with the Barefoot Consultants, and I'd like to welcome you to our Facebook Friday, uh, our noon time. For those of you listening on the replay, we'd also like to welcome you all in. In fact, most of our listeners are on the replay, so we value and appreciate you. I'd like to know where everybody's coming in from, so if you have a chance to put your where you're calling in from, where you're watching this from, that would be great. Always interested in that. Today, we're going to be talking about spring cleaning profile things you can do to improve your profits working on online networks. This is a great time to take a look at your profile, update it, freshen it up. Most people, in my experience, might look at their profile once every 6 months to a year once they start working on the job and project networks. And as you work on networks, your idea of the kind of work you want to do, your idea or your knowledge of what's the most profitable work that you want to do is oftentimes changes as you go over time. And a lot of people were just so happy to get their profile done that they are reluctant to go back and change it, or don't even think about going back and changing it. They think, well, I got my profile up, I got into the network, I'm working on jobs and earning things now. And so, do I really need to change it? And the answer is most people do, because what I've noticed about people beginning to work online is that usually between 6 months and a year after they've started working online, they're doing different things than they thought they would be doing at the beginning, or they're doing the things they thought they would be doing, but they're doing them in a different way. And so that's a good indication that you want to go back and change your profile, because one of the great things about the profile is that's what does your selling for you. Every day, every night, 7/24, your profile is making the case for you around the world as buyers are looking for resources to bring into their organizations and use as freelance talent. So that is what we want to focus on here. That's why we want to do that. So the first thing I want to talk about is that after you've worked for 6 months to a year, in many cases, you might be using different skills. You may have had a job that you got based on your current skills, but the job had a little piece of it that was new, a new wrinkle. And for example, recently I was talking to one of our members who was writing articles, and their freelance buyer had asked them if they could take the article once written and put it onto the client's WordPress site. WordPress is the web page software that probably about 35% of all websites on the web are built with that software. So our member didn't know how to do that, and I suggested that they go out on YouTube. There's lots of training videos on how to do that. There are lots of training videos that for $25 for a month you can go look at on LinkedIn. They purchased a training company called Linda, and there's lots of very good information in there in terms of how to go out and learn that new skill. It's very simple. It's just really saving that document that you prepared in Microsoft Word in a slightly different way. You have to log into a system, you have to upload it, and there's a few things that go on there, but it's pretty simple. It's not complicated. So now this member of ours has in their toolkit that they're able to upload articles to WordPress. And for many jobs online that include writing, that is a deal breaker if you don't know how to do that. And so that opens up many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of jobs that they can be able to do over the next year. And they really should feature that skill. Very important to feature that skill, because as I said, people want you to do that. You think of the buyer that's having you write an article. they have you write the article, they read the article, they like it, and then you want to think about the next place that article goes with respect to the buyer. You're done with your job, but now they have to post it on their WordPress site, meaning they have to find another person, and possibly a freelancer, possibly a internal person or that kind of thing, but it's an extra step. And if they can get you to do that step, they're just delighted. You know, the thing gets posted today after they approve it, rather than a week from now when their tech person has time to get around to it, that sort of thing. So that's good. Let's see here. Hi, Tom. I see Tom has joined us. That's good. Yes, all is well. You know, more people are getting vaccinated every day, and looking forward. It feels like I've actually been looking at cruises lately to see where I might go for a cruise. So, in fact, tell me what you're going to do as soon as you're free to move around the world. I would be very interested in that. You know, I want to get back to my home in Mexico. Very important. This is a green screen, but this is the background. This is sitting on the balcony of my place in Mexico. So looking forward to getting back there and enjoying some time with that. So very interested to hear what you're going to do when we're free to move about the country. Yes, I think, where was it? I saw that someplace just went down to 50-year-old. Oh, Heather, how you doing? South Padre Island, very good, gorgeous place. Yeah, that's very nice. Let's see. All right, the next thing I want you to consider in terms of beefing up your profile is taking a look at your portfolio. Now, your portfolio is examples of work that you've done or samples of your writing. Many different things can constitute a portfolio item. It could be a few slides from a PowerPoint presentation that you did. It could be an example of a procedure that you wrote for a company or for yourself when you were working in a company, that kind of thing. And what happens is every time you complete a job online, you have potentially a new deliverable, if it's that kind of job where you're actually delivering something that you can share with, you know, you can share that online with your client's permission in your portfolio. And most clients are more than happy to let you share that in your portfolio. So every piece of work that you do online potentially becomes something that you can add to your portfolio. And after you've been working on the system for a while, a beefed up portfolio, which is the samples of your work, really inspires confidence on the part of the freelance buyer that's doing business with you. When they open your portfolio and they can see that you've got half a dozen samples of your work, that is inspiring to them. They know you can do the job. They can go through and read any one of those that's most closely related to the kind of thing they want to do. So that's a very cool thing to do. Let's see. So examples of work. Let's tick off some of those. Particularly if you're doing proofreading and editing, you can put the resulting documents in there. If you do write an article or write some content for a web page, you can include that in there. That would be great examples of writing. If you do an Excel spreadsheet, you can sanitize that so it doesn't have any confidential information. But at that, and you can turn that into a PDF to give somebody an example of the kind of spreadsheets you're able to do. If you're looking for a customer service job, you may have written responses, customer service responses for somebody. That would be another good example of something that you could put in there. Of course, sanitizing it so it doesn't have any confidential information in it, but it really fleshes out the kind of work that you can do. And as we've talked about, there's going to be a bunch of post-pandemic jobs coming up, writing of procedures, changing of policies, writing of all kinds of new stuff. Welcome in, John. Good to see you from Southport, North Carolina. Another beautiful part of the country. And yeah, that's, I see that Tom has a comment about Tesla. I know watching the news lately, Tesla, Elon Musk is inviting people to, let's see, what is he? He has a town called Space or something like that in Texas here, and he wants people to move there. It'd be a great place to move for those of us of a certain age that are interested in making that trip to Mars. So that would be kind of interesting. So lots of examples of your work. If you're a photographer and you do retouching with Lightroom, you can put those in there. There's Bob Herb coming in from Roatan. Good to see you, Bob. Great for stopping by. Glad to see everybody. So the other thing that I'd like you to do, if you can, and you find this information helpful, is press your like button. That helps this message get out to a broader range of people. Every time the algorithm in Facebook sees that you're liking something, they push it out to a few more people. You know, the Upwork algorithm, we are almost certain works the same way. When your clients like the work you do and give you a good rating and make nice comments, the Upwork system pushes that information out to a broader audience. So understanding how that works and how that helps people know things in terms of what the algorithm is doing is a beautiful thing. The more you understand the algorithm, the more you know how to put yourself in your most favorable light. And really, that's a lot of what we talk about here. So that's where you want to put those examples of your work in your portfolio. Now, the number 3 thing is go back to your connection worksheet. And that's for people in our program. But if you're not in one of our programs, no worries. I'll give you sort of the short briefing on what that is. It's kind of a comprehensive, I think it's 7 pages long. You kind of fill out things like past jobs you've had, past things you'd like to do in your career, in your personal life. Because after all, when you're moving into freelancing, it's a great time to pick more the kind of work that you want to do instead of spending time doing the kind of work that you don't want to do. You know, I don't want to sit out here on the balcony and do something that twists me up in knots. I may be good at doing it, but it's just not the kind of work I want to do anymore. I don't like to, for many years, I was happy to explain complex technical systems to people. Now that no longer interests me. I'd much rather help baby boomers figure out how to freelance online. So I get juice and get energized from helping baby boomers figure out how to work online. And I don't get very excited. In fact, it's like a little bit of an energy black hole. It sucks the life out of me, may suck the life out of you. Fortunately, I don't have to do it anymore of, you know, pore over technical documents and try to make sense out of what they're doing and that kind of thing. So a lot more fun to pick the kind of things that I like to work on. So as you're going through this worksheet, you know, when you start working freelance, you're looking at lots of jobs on a regular basis. You know, that's a good thing to do. And even though you're not maybe bidding on those jobs for one reason or another, you're seeing other ideas or other parts of jobs that you might be able to do. So by looking at jobs, even if you're not going to do them, it expands your horizon, because within those jobs, you will see things that you would be willing to do and you are good at and that kind of thing. So this is where we want to take a close look at that connection worksheet. You want to list any software that you learned how to use in the last year. A lot of people have learned how to use, for example, a graphics software, a simple graphics program. Some people have learned how to use simple proofreading programs. And buyers actually go into jobs and say, I want somebody to write this article, but I want you to use Grammarly to proofread it and check for plagiarization. So that would be a great sort of opportunity to add that, bring that back into your profile. And so all these things spark up your profile, and it's interesting as you rewrite your profile lightly. A lot of these changes we're talking about might be 10% kind of changes, but it's just putting in a little bit more of what you are doing now and want to be doing more of in the future, and pulling out a few of those things that you're not as interested in doing anymore, or don't describe the way that you'd like to do those anymore. So that's what you're looking for. And you may have done some things in your volunteer activities. A lot of us, as we hit that retirement age, we have some extra time to go do some volunteer activities. And there are people, maybe you helped with a fundraising campaign for a volunteer organization. Fundraising is a very important thing right now. That's something you can dive in there and take a look at and see if you've done some fundraising activities or even worked organizing events for charities and that kind of thing. And coming up as we sit here at the beginning of April, there's lots of new activities helping businesses open up. If you wind up helping a business open up, even if it's your own or the corporation that you work for, that can be a skill that you can add to your portfolio and your profile that would be of great interest to other people looking now. About a year ago on one of our training calls, I looked on the Upwork site just to show the people in our Tuesday night call how many people are how many jobs there are in Upwork. And at that time, I think there are about 120 jobs on a daily basis. There's a pretty simple way you can look that up every day if you want to. It takes about 15 seconds just to get an idea. It's like going out and looking at the weather report. How many jobs are there out there today? And I just looked recently yesterday, and there were over 250,000 assignments available in the Upwork system. And those are the ones available. What you're not seeing there is you're not seeing when a freelance buyer decides to work with that client on an ongoing basis. And so they would post a different milestone for that person to do, but you're not seeing that. This is just the new people that have come into the system or people that have been around a while, and they have new requirements. So very significant growth in the new requirements on Upwork. And if you've learned a new software package, I was talking to somebody the other day who is a writer, and they've learned how to use Canva, Canva. That's a very popular, simple graphics program. So be sure and add any programs that you might have learned how to use. I had a member that talked about a program. Let's see, what was it? It was a video program that to do simple edits on videos. A lot of times when you record a webinar or even a call like this, you have maybe 30 seconds at the beginning of black screen, no sound. And then at the end, you might have another minute or two of that. And to make that consumable and have the person consuming that online, what we would do typically is go in and trim off that portion, that first portion. So when you click on the video, it starts right away. You see the picture, you hear the sound. And when it's over, the picture stops, the sound stops, so it's over. And that's something that a good video person could teach you how to do by watching a video of how they do it in 5 or 10 minutes. It really is a very simple process. And so if you can just add one simple skill like that to your toolkit, that's an excellent opportunity to bring you into new areas. So that's pretty much the three things that I wanted to recap with you. Is altering your skills. Number one, altering your skills based on what you like doing and skills that you've picked up during the time between the time you created your profile and what you're doing now. The second one is to beef up your portfolio with the jobs that you have done. Always get the permission from the freelancer that you did the job from. Always make sure you're sanitizing that information so you're not disclosing any company information. But very important to beef up your portfolio, demonstrates confidence. And then connection worksheet, broaden the scope of the kind of things that you can work on. Or if not broadening the scope of the kind of things you can work on, deepen the depth as to how far you can go. Last year at this time, you may not have known how to use WordPress. In 15 or 20 minutes, you could learn how to post your articles on WordPress. And so that deepens your skills that you have now going forward. So good to see everybody on the call today. Happy to take your questions. If you got any, you've got any questions, very much appreciate you. Yes, I see that SpaceX, certainly his firm on Boca Chica Beach. That's very interesting. And Randy checking in from Kansas City. Very good. Originally from Corpus Christi. Very nice. Let's see. How interesting. So Patty certified Heather in Roatan. So that's what's that? A four-way connection of everybody that's on the call, because that's where Bob is scuba diving and taking amazing pictures. I just saw your Facebook page a few days ago, Bob, and just gorgeous stuff. Everybody ought to run over there and take a look at that. So that's good. All righty. Well, I appreciate all the kind words. If this has helped you in any way, help us spread the word. You know how the networks work these days. The more people that like it, the more people get to see it. So hit that like button, and we'll look forward to seeing you on our Tuesday night call. For those of you that are members that are partaking today. And for those of you that are not, we'll see you next Friday for another interesting call on how to boost your freelance earnings. Take care. Talk to you soon. Thanks, John.